Welcome to Disgracelands, Robboland's vids, coming at you from Essex in the UK. I'm Rob Wheatley, hope you're having fun. Welcome YouTubers, we're going to do one of these things which people seem to be doing at the moment, us guitar types. We're going to take a little walk, see how far I can get. I'm testing out a new mic, or a new mic setup. I've got something plugged in here, and I've basically rigged some, bit of an older, or new, washing up sponge, and I've just tied it around the original microphone. Alright, use a little tie thing there, metal tie thing, just to wrap it around my button. I'm hoping that this shirt doesn't get in the way. I haven't got a selfie stick, I've got long arms but a short cable on this mic, so we'll see how far we get. Just a bit of a test and just to see what's going on, alright? We're going to leave, we're going to go outside and we'll see what happens. We'll take a bit of a walk down by the river, yeah, we'll see what happens. So we're leaving Disgracelands and we're just heading down the road. Bright blue sunny day, brand new haircut. And we're just going to take a walk down towards the railway station. And once we're down the railway station, excuse me, through the car park, through the woods, along the river. Someone laughing and talking when they should be working. It's an outrage. No wonder the country's in such a state. Eh? Oh, low-flying tree. Here we go. Yeah, so this, I have Tourettes. For anyone that's been watching my videos and wondering what all the freaking out is, I have Tourettes. Sometimes it's worse than others, and actually the last few days have been pretty duff. So the more videos of mine you watch, you'll probably notice that the twitching goes away. That's either because I'm going through a bit of a bad few days of it at the moment, or you're going to get used to it. Either way, whatever. I don't have the sweary kind of Tourette's, I just have the twitchy kind, so any bad language is purely intentional. That's my excuse. They're my underpants and I'm sticking to them, you know, so pub over there. And we're just going past the recycling bins, which is where I normally dump off my empties after breakfast. As you can see, I had rather a good breakfast the other day. And we're now through the station car park. There's our railway station there. That goes to trains to London in about an hour, something like that. About 50 minutes to an hour to London from here, about an hour. I'm off to London tomorrow to see a band. Norwegian new jazz meets Jamaican reggae, apparently. Sly and Robbie, Sly and Robbie, the two reggae dudes, bass drums, and then we've got Niels Petter Malveya on trumpets and trumpet synthesizers and wobbly noises, and one of my favourite guitar players, Ivan Darset, Norwegian guitar player, who is no stranger to an effects box. It's going to be pretty freaky, spacey stuff, and yeah, so Ivan Darset is a real favourite guitar player of mine. Here we come. We're just entering the woods, or the track alongside the woods. There's the railway line, okay, and oh, now you know where I live. There's a picture of the pineapple, just in case I get lost. Yep. And we're just taking a stroll. So the railway line's there. The woods is on the other side of the railway line. But this is a favourite walk of mine. And I teach guitar. I've just started teaching guitar again after a few years off. Really enjoying it. I have one student who comes every other week, and I've soon to be teaching other two. Fair enough, it's my brother and one of my nephews, but my brother was a good musician when he was a kid, and he used to play violin, and then stopped when we moved abroad because he couldn't get a teacher. And then school, work, all the rest of it. and he's never had time, but he's just sort of semi-retired, and he wants to learn guitar, so we're going to be doing a few one-on-ones, lessons face-to-face, and then he wants to see if I can do some lessons over Skype, which is going to be great fun. This here, there's a little underpass there, which is barely enough for a troll to get through. I'm not saying the T word. That goes through under the railway into the woods, but that's not where we're going. We're just doing a little 20 minute, 10, 15, 20 minute round trip. So my brother's going to learn, and also my nephew, who was over at the weekend, and he'd played guitar for a couple of years. He was good. I mean, one school holiday, he taught himself the main guitar parts for the first 5 Rush albums, which and he was having lessons at school and that as well. But like a lot of people, especially young kids, you know, learning and that, they've got everything on the internet, and you know, they can go on there and get the tabs and get the music, get the chord boxes, watch people doing videos of how to play songs. And I always encourage my students all the time to use the internet and to use all the free resources out there. And I think my job as a teacher is to add value. I think I could easily get away with watching, say for example, I had a beginner, there'd be nothing to stop me going and watching, say, one of Scott Grove's campfire guitar videos, and then literally repeating it to the person when they come into my house, saying, this is the lesson, where's your money? And I think that would be despicable of me, although an easy way to make £1. I don't do that. My lessons are trying to give people little bits and pieces, building blocks, little tips, tricks, little things that can be stuck together. I don't know if any of you have seen any little rhythm pattern. I did a video the other day of a rhythm pattern, and there's also an acoustic guitar tune. I think it's called Sunny Day in Robboland, and it's not using that exact rhythm, but it's all based on that sort of stuff. So if I can give my students little building blocks and then show them what can be done with it, and try and inspire them to go and find their own style, their own tone, work out their own wobbly bits, all that sort of stuff, that's what my job is. And I think the other way, the thing that you can't get from internet teaching is an instant reaction to what the student's doing. An example of this, we're just cutting through now, that carries on all the way down that way to Big Town, about a mile or so down there. You can carry on walking, really nice walk right along the river, and here we're just coming out onto the river. Okay, here's the river. You'll see some big tower blocks over there somewhere. A couple of big tower blocks, I don't know if you can, I can't really see because of the reflections. There you go. That's the University of Essex, in the grounds of Wivenhoe Park. And any of you artists out there, painters and stuff, John Constable, you know, the Haywain and all that, that's all around this area, a lot of that stuff. But he's actually done, there are some paintings of his in Wivenhoe Park, which is just over there. Obviously didn't have the tower blocks in those days, but yeah, there's a lake and stuff like that, and it's, yeah. So let's have a look at the river. Let's stand down, hear all the things going mad and buzzy things. Yeah, the thing I was saying about guitar lessons is being able to react to the student. One of my students, he's got a 6-year-old sister, and she loves running into his room and hiding all his picks, plectrums, and getting his guitar tuners and going and twiddling all the tuners. Now this kid had only had like 3 or 4 lessons, so he still hadn't got his ear in completely as to how the guitar should sound and all this sort of stuff. And first thing I make the student do is tune up, you know, give him the tuner, tune up. And we've all done this, I'm sure we've all done this in a hurry. You're tuning and you're absent-mindedly talking to someone else, especially if you're tuning an electric guitar, which is what this kid plays. So he's not actually listening to the notes, and of course what happens is you play the note and the needle goes onto the red, and you turn it up a bit, and it's green, you know, it's tuned. You go bing, the next note, and then, so he did that. Didn't really look at the name of the note that was coming out. He then went to hit a chord. I said, you know, show us what you did last week, how you got on with it and that. He hit a chord and something was fundamentally wrong, and his face just dropped. And I sat there and I thought, let's see, you know. and he couldn't work it out, couldn't suss out what was going on. I said to him, your A string is tuned to a B, just drop it down, because he'd just gone to the nearest note that the tuner had said was green. And I've done it in the past when tuning electric guitars. I'm sure I even done it at a gig once where I got there, played halfway through a song, I'm thinking, looking at the guy I'm playing with and thinking, what the hell is he on tonight? And then suddenly realised my B string was probably tuned to a C or something crazy like that, and cover up, don't play that string. So I can react to that. Other types of reaction, I mean, we were trying something the other week, I think it's like a picking pattern or something like that, and it's the first time I'd introduced this to this kid, to this student, and there was something he just wasn't getting. There was something just tripping him up. He was still a very, very new player, so all his fingers are having to get working, and I'm trying to give him exercises that seem like other things, but actually they're getting his hands to know the dimensions of the guitar and all this sort of stuff, and loosen up fingers and thumbs and that. But there was something he was just not able to get, and it was a real stepping stone. I could see him 10, 15 minutes in, he was just getting frustrated and he was losing it. What I was able to do in the lesson was to say, okay, cut, let's stop this. We're not going to do that for a moment. Oh, look, little pretty purple flower. Can you see that? Purple flowers, pretty purple flowers. And I had a think, and I said, okay, we'll try something else. And I gave him a completely different exercise, which seemed completely disassociated with what we were doing. And I said, we'll work on this instead, we'll go back to that. But the reason I gave him this second exercise was because I knew that what we were doing with that would unlock whatever it was in his brain that was, or fingers that was sticking and not able to crack this first thing. And as soon we did the second exercise, came back the next week, go back to the first exercise, and he just nailed it straight away, and he was, how the hell did I do that? So it's being able to react to things as well, and that's sort of what I'm trying to do. I've got some other interesting lessons coming up. There's a possibility of having to do a 5-hour lesson in the next few weeks. I'm still waiting to hear whether that's coming off or not, but some people coming over from France for a holiday here. So look at the river, isn't it nice? And they're talking about their daughter wanting a one-day lesson on sort of composition and arrangement, song arrangement, which I said I can. I mean, I do a lot of lessons on how we can use the guitar for arrangements and how we can liven up something that's otherwise, quite a flat-sounding tune, just by simple techniques and things again that can be built on. So I've got a couple of lessons we can use for that. I've got a jogger coming past. Hello there. Old boy jogging along there. Seriously, must be about 70, that guy. Fit as a fiddle, brown as a nut. Unbelievable. Yeah, look, the river. What was I saying? Couldn't have been that exciting. Anyway, yeah, so that's what we're... I might be doing an all-day workshop for one person, which, if that goes well, I've been talking to another guitar player about maybe doing some teaching workshops around here. We'll see. And another one I've got coming up, a friend of mine runs a comedy club here where we live, in Essex, somewhere near the edge of the UK, that sort of place. And she wants to learn she wants to be able to do comedy songs. She MCs the club every week or every month, and wants to put in some comedy songs. I went to stay with her and her boyfriend a little while ago, about a month or so ago, while my place, Disgracelands, was being decorated and renovated. I keep looking behind because there's someone coming up behind me. I don't know if they're running or just running very slowly, or whether they're very, very small, or whether I'm walking faster than they are. Yeah, so while I was staying there was an old bouzouki, an Irish bouzouki, which I'll be doing something on when I get it restrung. And ended up, they gave me this bouzouki, and I said, well, I want to do something back, so I'm going to give her three free lessons, designed around comedy songwriting. And we were having a drunken discussion one evening while I was staying there, and I gave a few ideas of how I would approach it. I mean, I used to write comedy songs with the band Blazing Chaos that I still record with. We're recording again together. We used to do a lot of comedy songs, and you know, there are very specific ways of getting a comedy song and making it very punchy and without having to learn an awful lot. But just really simple stuff that can make it really pop out. And so I'm really looking forward to doing that. I've done stand-up comedy in the past. Once I did stand-up comedy show. I've been playing as a stooge musician for a sort of cabaret thing, sort of a comedy night here at home, and I thought, well, how difficult can that be to do a comedy show? So I went and booked the room the next day, the room above the pub. It's pretty windy, for about a week's time, and then came up with a comedy show. There's a really crappy quality video that does exist, but I don't think it's really good enough to put up anywhere. I've tried cleaning up the sound, but it's almost impossible. I hope this bit doesn't get too windy. Just see if the new wind filter is working, because the breeze is blowing right in my face right now. In my ears it's even going so I imagine the mic might be taking a pounding. If it is, I might edit this. Anyway, look, some more of the river. That town over the river, that little village over the river, we have sort of an unhealthy rivalry, this town and that town. They take the piss out of us. They all think we're artists and hippies and layabouts, and everyone's on medication, and we all think they live in the Middle Ages, you know. So with constant harassment. They're talking about building a bridge over the river between the two, but I don't think anyone really wants that, do they? Just over there, if I've got it over there, I don't know what you look at here over there. That's a big nature reserve. A lot of rare birdies and flowers and all that guff, I'm sure. I went over there once years ago, and they'd had this big wildflower garden. My girlfriend at the time, and her parents, her mum and her mum's boyfriend were over. So we'll go over the nature reserve, and it was a real hot summer's day, and they'd had this wildflower garden, and her mum was wanting to spend ages through that, and I had the worst hay fever I'd had in years that day. It was a miserable, sodding day. I'm just pouring out my face and all this. We're on the last stretch home now. We've just come off the river, and we're going to be back on it in a minute. This is all the new housing estate up here. Lots of new houses. Blue sky today, isn't that fantastic? Incredible. I'm enjoying this sort of guitar community thing on YouTube at the moment. It's sort of beginning to remind me a little bit of when MySpace was good. MySpace used to be great if you're a musician, or even just someone who enjoyed discovering new music. Everyone was in touch with each other, and it was really, we had a fantastic community of a lot of musicians all working together. Oh yeah. Right. And there's here we go, the river there. Look at this. This is what they call a Riviera. Let's see if we can get all this in. I don't know what you got here. There you go. Look at that. This is where I live. It's quite nice. I think you can see the church. See the big church there sticking up just behind the White House? That's just opposite the road from where I live, so that's where we're heading back to. It's only a few minutes. Yeah, I'm enjoying this guitar community thing. I think it's, despite all the great Tonewood Wars of 2015, which really I haven't got involved in terms of the, you know, I don't know about you, but at the end of the day, does the wood on your guitar define you as a guitar player or a musician, or is it just something, and have we all got completely crazy annoyed about something which really good? It either works or it doesn't work, and either way makes no difference. Doesn't make any difference to the way you're going to buy a guitar or the way I'm going to buy a guitar or whatever, and people will still be making guitars the same way out of expensive lumps of wood, and people will be happy to buy them. And why the hell not? Why the hell not? There's an interesting video on the psychology of what we hear and how our senses can come up with things, you know, and fool us into thinking that we're experiencing the world in a way which isn't actually real. And I guess an example of this is a lot. Is you take the whole Tonewood thing where someone might do an hour and a half video and come up with amazing points, and then someone will just pick out one point and go, yeah, but you said that, and somehow their senses have completely blocked them from listening to the rest of the video and just picked out the one thing they were going to disagree with before they started. So that's quite entertaining. And that's my take on it. There's a water feature shaped like a boat over there, which is quite nice. Some more houses and more of the river. So look at that. It's a weird shot, isn't it? Oh, heads. That was close. Lucky I've got it tied around my neck today. So yeah. So we're coming back to. Shall I walk past the pub? We'll walk past the pub so you can see the pub. I'm sure you want to do that. We might have to cut all this because of the sound quality if the wind's too bad. But as I say, it's just a test for the microphone to see if this new wind thing works. I'm going to spin this round and hopefully give you a look at see a whole bunch of seagulls and crap over there, and the jetty and the flood barrier. Yeah. It's a nice place to be, really. I'm quite lucky to be here, really. We're just going to take about 2 minutes and we'll be back. I'm just going to take a stroll around the front, round to the pub, and then back to mine, where I will be opening a beer and uploading this video, which will probably take about 3 hours. No idea why. Yeah, so my YouTube channel, since my place has been decorated, the whole place is a nicer place to be. The lighting's better, the walls look nicer as backdrops, etc. And I'm just in a better mood than I was, say, a few months ago. So this is why I'm sort of getting into launching some more stuff on YouTube. I'm going to be doing, well, you've seen a few things, a few tunes, you know, things are made up as I go along. I'm not going to go down there. There's the boozer with everybody standing outside, and there's the pub, and there's the river. Okay, and now we're just going to head off back to my place. That sounded filthy, didn't it? Going to head off back to my place. And that's that. So there's the church up there, I think, unless you just saw the sky, in which case that's the sky. And yeah, there's going to be tips, there's going to be stupid stuff, there's going to be comedy stuff, possibly daft things that make me laugh, and hopefully just a decent place for people to come and be and chill out, and you know, your morning cup of tea and whatever else it makes you happy. Well, not that, obviously, you filthy swine, but you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, we're back here now. Push, pull, I've only lived a bit, and we're back. Good stuff, peeps. Catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.